What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Brain Waves. I want to talk to you all today about an old subject, however, it is still a current subject. Because though this took place last year, this is a situation that many of you may either have experienced yourself or may be currently experiencing. And so I'm going to use this one particular company. If you haven't looked at the screen, if you haven't read the title, you should have guessed by now that I'm referring to what took place here at Applebee's. However, I like to bring this up and talk about whether this is taking place at your particular company. And really, let's talk about the bigger grand scheme of things as it plays as a whole. So I like to welcome you all here. For those of you that don't know, I cover current events, even if it's someone in the past, it's still something that took place. I cover a lot of different situations and I use them to give us examples in life. And I give a lot of biblical references. Okay, so you all need to know where I come from and how I approach things just so that you have that understanding out of the way. I like to welcome you all here, no matter what your walk of life is. Thank you so much while you're here. If you haven't done so, I kindly ask that you subscribe, you hit the notification bell and select all. You get the likes up as soon as you come here or at least on your way out. You can also support the work by joining the membership. You can hit the super chat. I also have PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. You'll see the PayPal and Cash App information on the screen in the bottom right and left respective corners. It's also in the description box. And if you go into the description box, you don't have to actually type anything in. You can just click or tap and it'll take you straight there. $1, $5, $10, $1 million, any amount is greatly appreciated. And I will give you a shout out. Again, shout out to those of you that have donated. Support the work. I do appreciate it. Shout out to my members. And also, finally, I am a life coach and a prophet of the Most High. So if you need guidance, or your friends or your lovers or your children or your coworkers or your classmates or your neighbors, anybody, right? You can send them my way and I will talk to you all via video chat, video recordings, phone conversations, and in person in the local Atlanta, Georgia area. You can follow the description box on how to do that. It's on here, every single video, live stream, and YouTube short that I have up, or simply go to brainwaves.com. Now, with all of the quote unquote red tape out of the way, let's talk about this situation. What's up, Sister Love? Good morning, Maryland Edwards. I see y'all. So feel free to come into the building and say hello. I will definitely give you a shout out if I can, if it's within reason. So come on through, say hello. You're welcome here. So what I want to go ahead and put on the screen is I want to show you this article again, because I'm going to use this as an example to cover a particular subject, right? It shouldn't take rocket science in today's financial climate, in today's economic climate. Okay, I know there's a lot of other gossip, quote unquote, which, you know, we're really not supposed to be talking about that. Technically, that's a sin, but that's another conversation for another day. In any case, I know there's a lot of stuff going out here in the streets that taking place, but I want to take a different direction, which I always generally do. And I want to talk about something that affects every one of us, you and me included, our pockets, our income, our finances, right? I don't care if you're wealthy. I don't care if you're in between. And I don't care if you're at the bottom. Anywhere you are on the totem pole, this affects us all. And so I'm going to show you this article here. Now, again, this was an old article. This was back in March of last year in 2022. However, I'm going to segue it into something currently. So you'll see that it says Applebee's franchise exec. It says lowering wages amid high gas prices. And for those of you that don't know, the gas prices are back up. You know, if you know, you don't understand. Let me show y'all something. Just have to kind of show y'all something. I mean, gas prices have been up. Let's take a look at this again. Let me get this on the screen because this hits home, and this is the same situation repeating itself all over again. Okay, so let's take a look real quick at this article. It says, what's fueling another gas price increase? Okay, this is in Arizona. Okay, Tucson their cost is outpacing the nation. I mean, I guess we could just go ahead and play this. Hopefully it'll play. Let's see what's what. If not, I'll just read the article. Y'all know how sometimes when I try to play these things, they just sit here and spin and load, and I don't know why. Let's see let's give it a second, see what's going to happen. Maybe it will play, maybe it won't. And we're waiting. I hear the Jeopardy music. Okay, so in the meantime, while we're waiting, let's just continue to look at.
Right now, here we go. We're launching the Mobile Made Free event for Comcast Business Internet customers.
Now I got to get through an ad.
When you buy your first line of mobile, you get a second line free with no activation fees, and you can
y'all know what time it is
on the most reliable 5G network nationwide.
Particularly in our state. The average cost per gallon in Tucson is up about 19 cents in just the last week. And meanwhile, the national average has fallen 4 cents in the last week. 13 News fact finder Brooke Wagner looked into what's fueling yet another increase right before a big travel holiday. Brooke.
Yes, I bet you've noticed this. We talked about it a couple of months ago when refinery maintenance in nearby states that supply our gas was responsible for price increases. But let's take a look at the new numbers just out today. GasBuddy reports Tucson prices are 46.1 cents higher per gallon than 1 month ago, and about 36 cents higher than a year ago. The national average today is $3.78. In Tucson, it's $4.06. It's true that the cost of oil has jumped. Producers raised prices in recent months. Saudi Arabia and Russia are cutting supply amid political instability. But the real culprit here, extreme weather.
Y'all hear that?
I spoke to an expert who says this time it's not just an Arizona problem.
Refineries don't produce as much gas when it's extremely hot outside, and we just saw a historically hot month. So that's not a coincidence. And we also get a good portion of our gas from California. They just got hit by a hurricane. So there's a lot happening. There's many factors. All of them have been putting a lot of pressure in the gas market.
Experts say it could have been even worse if that hurricane had pushed any California refineries offline. We have no refineries here in Arizona, and it doesn't help that gas evaporates in the heat. One small glimmer of hope, though, with the brand new numbers today, Arizona is no longer seeing the highest prices in the country. 6 other states, including nearby California and Nevada, are higher. So when will your fuel finances settle down? Paredes says prices usually cool with the weather in mid-September as the summer blend contributes to higher costs, too. Experts agree we should see a significant drop in the next couple of months. Sorry, we have to wait for that. Brooke Wagner, 13 News Fact Finders.
Okay, so we pretty much heard what she said. In a couple of months, we should see a relief. This is what they're saying. So basically, as we approach the holidays, y'all, and we get closer to those days, you know, that time of the year, the latter half of the year, the prices should come down. But back to the article, because again, this situation is taking place around the same time. Amidst the high gas prices, because it feels like deja vu again, you see Applebee's execs, okay, it says here they have lowered wages. Now, like for those of you that are just now joining me, I'm going to talk about this company, this particular situation, but apply it to the current circumstances. So it says an Applebee's franchise executive had a bright idea on dealing with inflation. You all know we're still dealing with inflation, right? If you don't know, Jerome Powell, United States Fed chief, he has still said that we're not quite at their 2% goal. So they keep raising the interest rates, and they keep raising the interest rates to cool off spending, which impacts us. And then all these companies, all of these bills, like, have any of you noticed that all these bills, these monthly things, your gas, your utilities, right? Your subscriptions to companies, et cetera, all they do is pass the cost to you. Oh, we're raising it by $2-3. We're raising it by $5 here. You can get up maybe a substantial raise, right? They pass the cost on to the consumer, and they act like the consumer's actually getting paid, right? They're just squeezing the consumer completely out. And what's going to happen is it's going to break the system, so to speak, because the consumers are going to say, hey, we just don't have money for this. At some point in time, they can't pass the cost on to the consumer. But we had an Applebee's executive that had the bright idea. He says, let's deal with inflation this way and rising gas prices. Pay employees less. So Wayne Pankratz, a bigwig at American Franchise Capital, which owns and operates 50 Applebee's locations through the Midwest. Obviously, he's no longer with the company, but we'll get to that in a second. He spewed on his corporate fat cat vision to his colleagues over an email, which leaked and has since gone viral. In the memo, Pankratz muses that the higher gas prices being felt, right, across the country could actually benefit their Applebee's business, namely by forcing more people into the workforce out of desperation, which he thought would be great to exploit in lower wages and new hires. Now, I want to talk about this because this is what we see on the jobs report, right? You go see the jobs report coming out. Oh, yeah, there's less unemployment. Yeah, the job numbers look great. So then it caused the stock market to rally, et cetera, et cetera. It gives us this false sense of security, right? Now, I'm not saying that everything's about to crash, but at the same time, it's not completely accurate. So people are being squeezed like, well, I got to take something. I got to do something. People go back to work or they go to work. You see job numbers up. It looks like everything's fine, but it's really not. Think about how many of you, right? Every time I get into a conversation with someone, no matter how much money they make, I hear them talking about the climate. I hear them talking about how things are going up. They're talking about the squeeze. Many of you are experiencing. See, it's silent in the chat right now, right? I guess all of y'all got money in the live chat, right? Everybody in the live chat must have money. So since y'all got so much money and y'all not feeling any squeeze with anything, how about you help a brother out? How about you hit the PayPal, the Cash App, the Venmo, and the Super Chats, since y'all not feeling any financial squeeze, right? Because everybody's quiet like, oh, I'm good. I got money. I don't have any issues. How about y'all book y'all life coaching appointments, right? Because y'all got money, right? Y'all not feeling it. Everybody quiet. Everybody's good, right? Everybody's wealthy and super rich, right? Nobody's acting like they not feeling anything. Nobody's acting like the gas prices aren't up, even though you've seen it on the news, right? No one's acting like food costs are not up. Right? Commodities that we have to buy aren't up. The interest rates aren't up. Nobody's acting like we're not getting priced out of buying homes. Right? Many of you are shopping for a home and you can't even afford it because the interest rate's going up. Same thing goes with automobiles. Many of you want a new car, a new truck, a new whatever. And you're like, man, I can't even get that whip. The interest rate too high. I could afford it if the interest was better. I guess everybody's great, right? Everybody's peachy. All right, y'all. This is the end of the stream, end of the show. All right, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to y'all later. Bye. That's essentially what y'all want me to do, right? That's what y'all really don't want me to do. But yeah, as bad as this sounds, take a look at yourself, right? The CEO says it here. And I don't know why the document is not loading. Okay, here we go. You can see the email here. Now, like I said, it was last year, people, but you can see the email. The subject says why gas increase is good for hiring, right? Let me see. Will it, what's going to happen if I click on this? Give me 1 second. I'm trying to see if it's going to pull this up a little bit better. All right, let's take a look at this. This way we can see the email a little bit better. All right. Just making sure. Okay, everything should be showed up. So you see here, it says, you know, subject, why gas increase is good for hiring. Words of wisdom from Wayne, sent from my iPhone. Look, sent this at 7:35 at night, right? Central Standard Time, right? At night. Look, the executive director of operations says, be great at what matters, for great message, sir. Everybody's like saying it's a great message. Look, here it is. Subject says, why gas increase is good for hiring. Team, everyone has heard that gas prices continue to rise, right? This is deja vu because I know this was last year, but I posed the question, how many of the companies that you're working for, right, are doing this in some form or fashion. They're cutting their bonuses, cutting their commissions, cutting hours. Anyway, it says everyone has heard that gas prices continue to rise. The advantage this has for us is that it will increase application flow and has the potential to lower our average wage. How, you ask? Most of our employees base and potential employee base live paycheck to paycheck. Any increase in gas price cuts into their disposable income. As inflation continues to climb and gas prices continue to go up, this means more hours employees will need to work to maintain their current level of living. We are no longer competing with the government when it comes to hiring. Stimulus money is no more. Supplemental unemployment is no more. This benefits us as prices rise. People who, we should say, we are relying on unemployment money simply will have less money to spend. It will force people back into the workforce. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why the job numbers look so good right now, right? And why the stock market is propped up so high. But yet many of y'all don't have the money and y'all struggling to pay stuff, let alone doing stuff for fun and recreation, right? The email continues to say, furthermore, other competitors, right? So this is already talking about other companies. Other competitors, he says, especially mom and pop companies or smaller businesses, will have to either raise prices, cut employee hours, or pay employees less hourly to hit their profit margins. Now, this is exactly what's taking place today. Prices are being raised. So sure, maybe you haven't received a pay cut, or none of your coworkers, or you haven't heard about pay cuts for the companies that you work for. However, you may be getting less hours, like I said. Could be something like that. Also, maybe new hires could be getting paid less. Could be something along those lines. Or maybe they're just not hiring, period. They have positions open and they're not hiring. But if they're not doing any of those things, they definitely have raised prices. Like I said, go look at everything online. Everything costs more. Going to the store, everything costs more. Clothes, electronics, vehicles. I don't care what you buy. Food, everything costs more, including gas. Right? This is what he's talking about. This is what other companies are going to have to do. And this is deja vu all over again. So then it says, we all competed to hire out of the limited application pool. And there was a wage war. We all saw. Now, y'all remember during the pandemic, right? When everybody was off, everyone was at home. Companies had to pay top dollar just to get someone to come into the office to work, right? This is what he's talking about the wage war. He says, we all saw businesses hiring team members at $18 to $20 an hour. They will no longer be able to afford to do this. This means that your pay will get cut, right? See, I know nobody wants to hear this because this ain't the celebrity stuff that people want to hear, celebrity tea, YouTube street news and all that crap. But this hits home, right? He says they will no longer be able to afford to pay people $18 to $20 an hour. Trucking is the backbone of America. And as fuel costs rise, so will the charges for shipping. And like I said, those costs get passed on to us as the consumer. If gas prices go up, shipping costs go up. So whether you buy online or you buy it at the brick and mortar locations, they're going to pass the cost on to us. Right? If those costs cannot be passed on to the consumer, I just said that, in terms of menu price or product prices or whatever it is, service prices, right? Y'all notice how I don't raise my prices? Have y'all noticed that during this whole pandemic, I have not raised my prices for my life coaching and whatever services? Have y'all noticed that? I've tried to keep my prices set. While other people got to raise shipping costs and prices and all that, I've kept my price the same. I'm just trying to let y'all know, right? Anyway, it says that if these costs cannot be passed on to the consumer in terms of menu price, the only area they can cut sizable costs will be in labor. The labor market is about to turn in our favor. What can you do? Meaning the employer. Besides hiring employees in at a lower wage to decrease our labor when able, make sure you have a pulse on the morale of your employees. Your employees that live check to check are impacted more than the people reading this email. Be conscious of that. Many will need to work more hours or get a second job. Do things to make sure you are the employer of choice. Get schedules completed early so they can plan their other jobs around ours, or around yours rather. Most importantly, have the culture and environment that will attract people. So, I want to talk about this because this is what's taking place today. Sister Love says, yes, Brainwaves, my job is cutting employee hours. Exactly. And we're all feeling the pinch. We're all feeling the pinch. Look at what happened to the Hollywood strike, right? This plays into the Hollywood strike. All of this stuff works together. Why do you think Hollywood's striking? This is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I'm talking about. The Hollywood strike. Okay? That system that wasn't sustainable, streaming, and the actors not getting paid what they're supposed to get paid, and then all this revenue's being generated, but it's not going where it needs to go, and the system's not sustainable. I told y'all what's taking place with Hollywood. This is what's taking place everywhere. And we're feeling it in corporate America. You're feeling it in retail. You're feeling it in trucking. Doesn't matter your industry. It's going all over the place. Right? Because at the end of the day, just like this particular CEO, all they care about is the bottom line. Right? At the end of the day. Now, obviously, people did hashtag boycott Applebee's. People will boycott and strike and stuff like that. But the point that I'm making is this is something potentially that all companies could be doing. Again, remember, these emails leaked from Applebee's, from the leadership, from the executive, right? The CEO. How many of these emails are flying around at your company, right? I'm just saying. And then they decide to make these changes. Y'all know they hit even content creators, right? Us as content creators have been hit. We've lost revenue, but y'all seem to think that we could just continue to stream and put stuff on, and y'all like, oh, okay, it is what it is. Right? It's crazy. What's up, the head ninja? I just wanted to talk about that because, again, gas prices are up again, and we're in the same situation. So, you're going to have to do what you have to do. Again, as it mentioned, you may have to take a second job, third job, maybe find a source of income or restructure your housing or whatever it is to be able to generate that extra leg up. Because when interest rates go up, it hurts the consumer. Yes, it does slow spending down, but it also hurts these companies as well. So when those prices get passed on to the company, it hurts us as consumers. It is what it is. I kind of wanted to talk about it, let y'all know what time it is. We're in this situation again. So you need to be smart. You need to be frugal. You need to stop and think. Maybe you have some talents that you can generate some extra income with. Maybe restructure your time. There's some other things you can do. But whatever it is, you want to do that. We're vastly approaching the holiday season. There's going to be a lot of pressure, a lot of corporate parties, company parties, school parties, a lot of gift giving, buy this, buy here, sell there, family pressure. Hey, you get me anything for holidays? And I know a lot of people aren't into these pagan holidays, but a lot of people are. A lot of companies, like I said, a lot of facilities. It's just going to be so much spending that's needing to take place. So, hey, do what you can, support who you can. Hopefully you receive the same support in return, etc., etc. I just want to talk about this, and I want to pose the question. How many other companies have shared an email like that to this day? It just hasn't leaked yet. No one knows about it because they're able to keep it from leaking. They didn't get caught slipping, right? And this all ties into a bigger plan with the overall global economy. They essentially want to tank everything. They just want to tank everything. It is what it is. They want to tank everything so they can issue in new structures, new systems. Call it New World Order. Call it the Mark of the Beast. Call it this digital currency chip and all this stuff. They want to usher these things in. So by doing this global on a vast scale, this puts most people in a position where they're going to be dependent on them, right? This puts most of us to where if your job and you working something, they cut this, or even if you're an entrepreneur and the cost of your products and services, the stuff you got to receive goes up, then you got to do one or two things. You got to cut your staff, cut labor, something's going to get cut. You got to have to cut options off of your menu or your products and services. You're going to have to cut pay. Something's going to get cut. Or you're going to have to raise stuff to keep things as it is. Something's got to give one way or the other. And this is a systematic plan and structure that they're doing, again, to force us to take the mark and force us to get into this digital currency and social currency and all these futuristic things that are basically upon us. Yeah. And they don't care what happens about the squeeze in the meantime. If they didn't care years ago, they still don't care. All they do is give you a little appetizer. They give you a little $500 check here or there. Even under President Trump, President Biden, I know everybody's like, oh yeah, Trump gave us all this money. So you count a $500 or $1,000 check, some real money. Like, how far does that really go in these days, in these last days in this economy? But so many people's like, yeah, the only reason, not because of Trump's policies, not because of anything else, just because, well, he gave me $500 check or $1,000 check or whatever it was. I can't even remember the exact amount at this time. It's been some time. How far is that really going to get you? And essentially, that's another form of buying votes. Y'all do know that, right? Like, if I come to you and I give you money, that's a form of bribing. Y'all do know that, right? That's legal bribing. That's what that is. Like, if I come and give y'all some money, hey, I gave you some money, you're going to like, yeah, I like Brainwaves because he gave me some money. Then you'll come support me, right? Right? I'm just saying. Because I put money in your pocket, right? I put that bread in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? That's that Transformation Church doctrine. That bread in my pocket. That bread in my pocket, Pastor Mike Todd in this. Y'all got to understand, man, it don't matter who is the leadership. They got a bigger goal in play. It doesn't matter who. But I'm just saying, because, you know, a lot of people just think, well, he put money in my pocket. I'll say, okay, maybe that's your concept of real money. But in this day and age, newsflash, $500, $1,000, or $2,000 don't get you nowhere. That might be good for 1 month at best. 1 month at best. 1 month, depending on your financial situation, at best. Y'all, this is the best case scenario. I mean, what do I know? I just went to school and I got my college education in business and marketing. So I don't understand these things. You know, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just educated, but I have no idea what I'm doing, people. Right? I just wanted to talk about this because this is a real subject. Again, it impacts everybody. It impacts me. It impacts your other content creators. It impacts everybody. So when we say, hey, if you're in a position to support us financially and you like what we do, hey, do it. Because it's going to come at something getting cut one way or the other. Maybe you don't get the type of content you want. Maybe you don't get as much content. Maybe they can't do this, they can't do that. You see things slow up, and this happens across the board. So I just wanted to talk about this. You know, the same thing goes with y'all. Hopefully people support you all, whatever it is that you have going on that you do. But this is a real situation we're dealing with. So, hey, I talked enough about it. I feel like at this point, I'll just kind of be repeating myself, which is redundant and a waste of time. On that note, one thing that I want to tell you that's not a waste of time, if you take a look at the screen, is John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, which is Jesus Christ, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So, if you say this prayer with me, if you believe this in your heart, your mind, and your soul, you'll be saved behind your computer, behind your desk, in your car. I mean, I don't know if you should be in a classroom listening to me right now, you know, but y'all get what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah, maybe it's a college class or something. I don't know. Y'all know what I mean, right? Wherever you are, no one has to know that you're doing this. No one can see you here in the live chat. No one can see you that you're watching and listening. No one knows. Only you know and God knows. So if you pray this, you will be saved. or you can rededicate your life. There's no spell work. There's no satanic ritual. There's no blood sacrifice. There's no nothing that you could have done that cannot be forgiven. This is the whole reason, right? So say this with me or pray this with me. Father God, I believe you sent your only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, to die for my sins so that I can be free of those strongholds and that sin in my life through the shedding of Jesus's blood. I believe Christ died, he went to hell, took the keys from the devil, rose again, sits on the right hand throne with God, so that I may have everlasting life. I want to make you, Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior over my life. If you said that, if you prayed that, if you believe and receive that in your heart, your mind, and your soul, congratulations. Welcome to the kingdom. You are saved. You are saved. So, if you want to join a church home, you could do that on your time. Let the Holy Spirit guide you. If you want to get baptized or rebaptized, again, let the Holy Spirit lead you. I did my part. Welcome to the kingdom. People will see that light shining within you. So you're not going to be able to keep this secret for long if you're not going to go around and tell everyone, hey, guess what? I got saved today. They're going to see that light shining within you and they're going to ask questions. I see you glowing up. What's up? And that's your opportunity to share the good news with them. So with that being said, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. I've got a lot to do. I'll most likely be back later today. It is what it is. But love y'all. Make sure, again, you join the membership if you haven't done so. Hit the super chat, PayPal, Cash App, and Venmos. Again, I don't care if it's $1. It's greatly appreciated. Any amount, right? Any amount. Also, book your life coaching appointments. Okay, you can find all this information in the description box and just go to brainwaves.com. It's not hard to find me. With that being said, y'all, I'll be back later. I'm going to go ahead and get out. Okay? So, until then, I'm going to send you all away, as I always do, with love, with blessings, and with light.